Hi, welcome back on the 8th episode of Enterprise Mobility Tips. My name is Peter Daalmans, and today I want to show you a new tip around conditional access. Recently, a new feature became available under preview within conditional access. We have now the ability to target or to use one Office 365 client app to target multiple services within the Office 365 service by using one or maybe more conditional access rules. By using this feature, we're able to target a whole bunch of services within the service. Exchange Online, of course Flow, Forms, but also portal.office.com and admin.microsoft.com. Until now, we were not able to control the access to those portals. So for instance, we were not able to control access from unmanaged devices, from your private devices. What I will show you today is that we are also able to control the activation or adding your corporate credentials to your own private Office 365 Pro Plus installation. So here we are in Azure AD. If we go to Security, we will find the Conditional Access plate where we can create a new policy. So let's first create a policy to only allow Office 365 from a compliant device. So we name the policy and we target this to all users. Of course, we want to create a break the class account for instance, all the global admins. And you all know that the number of global admins should be limited in your environment. If we go to Cloud Apps or Actions, we're able to select all Cloud Apps. You don't want to do that. And we're able to select Apps. If we click Select, then you will see a new app that's being listed. Office 365 Preview. And Office 365 Preview, we select this one. We click Select. And because we want to support also app protection without enrollment for instance, Exchange Online, we're able to exclude this service from this conditional access rule. So we exclude Office 365, Exchange Online, and click Done. If we go to conditions, we're able to configure under what conditions this conditional access rule should be applicable. So we want to have this on any device, which also includes non-supported devices like Linux or Chromebooks. But we want to exclude Android and iOS because in my next step I will create a policy which allows us to only force app protection without enrollment, which I will be covering in my next blog. Click Done, and we want to apply this on from any location. For client apps, we want to have this applicable for both the browser and the mobile apps and the modern authentication clients. So we uncheck Exchange Active Sync clients and other clients, click Done, and we're done with the conditions. Now we want to grant access under certain conditions. We want to have, in this case, we want to only allow access from a device which is marked as compliant. So we click Select and click Create. In this case, I'm not enabling the policy as of yet. So the next step is to create the policy for iOS and Android for app protection without enrollment. So let's protection without enrollment. We target this again for all users. Don't want to exclude any users. We select one cloud app, Exchange Online. We click the conditions. We want to explicitly select Android and iOS from any location. And again, we want to have this active on the browser and the modern mobile apps. So we click done. And next we're able to select both require approved client app and require app protection policy. On both policies I will be creating the next episode on enterprise mobility tips, because this is also a pretty cool feature which you can use in your environment. We click select, click on and create. So now we want to be able to test the access to a portal.office.com. So if we use my just normal UPN, I should be able to log in, since the conditional access rule is not active as of yet. Access to this portal, you want to have this controlled, because you have access to a lot of metadata about your documents you're working on, SharePoint sites, etc., etc. Of course, access to services should be controlled by conditional access as from this portal, but you can access this from any device, also devices which are not managed. And we don't want to have that in this case. So what we need to do is, of course, enable the conditional access rule. Click on and click save. And then we need to wait a couple of minutes before the rule gets active. So if we go back and if we click sign in again, enter the password, we will see that we are blocked. And if we look at more information, then you see that it's not a registered device, so therefore it's not compliant. When using the latest versions of Office, you know that you can activate your private Microsoft account, but also your work or school accounts. Which means that you could also activate or use your work or school accounts in your private installations of Office 365 Pro Plus, for instance. So if I want to add my corporate account, normally I would have access and I would be able to do this, and then I would see the same metadata which is also provided in portal.office.com. But now I'm not able to activate or use my account, which also means that you're not able to use the license of your work, in this case on a private device. Another thing, if we go back to the portal, I mentioned it already, admin.microsoft.com was not also, we were not also able to control admin.microsoft.com. So if we try to log in here, we're also seeing that we are actively blocked right now. So if we go back to Azure AD, we should also see this in the sign-in logs. And here you see, for instance, already the Office Suite UX with all the information and with the message that I'm also only allowed access from a compliant device. So thank you for joining me today. Hope you are able to test this preview feature also in your environment. I have some great conditional access resources. For instance, from Kenneth van Surksum, a great buddy of mine, wrote a bunch of great blogs about conditional access. Make sure to read them and to use them in your daily work. Of course, I added the docs.microsoft.com and a link to the blog, which is part of this episode. Of course, always share your ideas on user voice, because it's really important that Microsoft knows what you're looking for, and vote on different topics also. Thank you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and get connected via Twitter. Hope to see you next time.